Yeah, let's see.
Okay, yeah, it's live.
Yeah, it's working.
Fuck it. I wonder how
Yeah, I
much.
think it bugged out.
But then I don't know. It might have stopped. The thing is once it processes, it might still be there. Yes, let me read on. So it says, Deputy Prime Minister Philip Dowden has revealed a new website to advise people on how to protect themselves from various risks, including biosecurity crises, flooding, power outages, or another pandemic. The Prepare website calls on households to stock up on bottled water with a minimum supply of 3 litres of drinking water per person per day, but says 10 litres is recommended for more comfortable levels for cooking and hygiene. People should, it suggests, also store non-perishable food that doesn't need cooking, such as tinned meat, vegetables, and fruit. What the fuck? Why they tell you to stock up? Oh, non-perishable fruit and veg. Oh, they probably mean like skin. Okay. As well as baby supplies and pet food if needed. The website adds that a tin opener should be in the package, as well as battery or wireless torches and radio.
That's it, so like, you're telling people to take certificates, but you know, some people would be there like, smacking the certificates and more like, no.
Wet wipes and first aid kit. Mr. Dowden says the measures are about sensible safeguards, not stockpiling. And the website is there to offer practical information for households to make those preparations for threats listed on the government's national risk register. Thousands to take part in the pandemic. I was just checking what I'm reading. Thousands to take part in pandemic exercise. The Deputy Prime Minister is speaking at the London Defence Conference on Wednesday, where he will say resilience begins at home. With a poll by the conference showing only 50% of people have an emergency supply kit in their homes, and more than 40% do not have 3-day supplies of non-perishable items. So basically, in effect, what the government is saying is they're saying that every person, every man, woman, and child should become a prepper, a doomsday prepper. They can, just out of the idea of preparing for a worst case scenario. But now this is something that is a very real possibility to everyone walking upon the earth. Right, to the point where just down the road, you have MPs, ministers basically speaking to every individual, every household should have these supplies within reach. Right? And usually there's no smoke without fire. That means that more than likely something's gonna happen. Right? So I'll read on it. So the Deputy Prime Minister is speaking, as I read that. The new website is part of Mr. Dowden's push to ensure the UK is more resilient to growing threats ranging from natural disasters and water outages to conflicts. Right? Last year he introduced we better be holding a second episode there.
First Thessalonians 5:1. But the times and seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So yeah, with this warning going out, it's something that for most people, they're not going to heed anyway. That's the thing. Most people, they're like the scenario has been a joke with the proper, preparing for, for some kind of doomsday scenario. Most people are still thinking, well, that's there's no way that can go down. What in the UK? So you talk to people. When I was talking to someone, they were talking. I was like, like I mentioned a famine, and they were like, oh, famines don't happen anymore. And I was like, you realize that famines happen, but it's a global system. And I had to just go to the Ukraine war. I said, you realize the Ukraine war, like after that, do you remember the prices of bread and what was going up? Because the reason why is because 70% of the wheat in the world came from Ukraine and Russia. So that means that there's way less to go around. I was like, of course these things can still impact you. But for most people, it's not reality. You mention these things, their eyes glaze over. They hear it like from it's not even us on the street corners. They're most nice. Everything's working out. That's when they're completely unprepared. And that's how most people are going to be caught. They're going to be caught unprepared. It was like, what you call it? During the lockdowns, once the lockdown started, there were people that were overseas. Then they were stuck fucking overseas paying however much for the hotel they were in, exorbitant prices. Because them man knew they weren't going to get no people visiting. So they're like, yo, we're charging them. We're making sure these guys pay. There were people like stuck overseas for months on end.
And in some cases, they made it cheaper.
Yeah.
To incentivize them to come over.
But that's why it's like, it seems like, people can fan the hand. Sure, for now that's great. Fan the hand to your heart's content. But you're still going to get caught out there.
Reading on. I'll read on this. It says last year introduced an emergency alert system. So mobile phones get sent a loud alert sound if there's a risk to life in the area. So it shows you this is systematic rollout as far as concerning this system. Alright? Well, it's ideal. Government source said the new website is part of the largest overhaul of resilience in decades, which will also involve new training for employees. So the new program is model what should happen in another pandemic. Right? And they keep perpetuating the idea of what another pandemic. Why are they doing it? Because more than 9 times out of 10, another one's on the way. Right? But it just serves to you being better prepared if you are prepared. Right? For ultimately coming one with a system itself. Right? And if you're not, you're going to be caught unawares, and then even more so you're going to want to get down with a system they rolled out. Alright? So it says it will see thousands of people taking part in a tier 1 pandemic exercise next summer. Right? So they're basically going to do a whole test run next summer, so next year, 2025. The government said that the advice is not in response to an immediate crisis, but it's so people can be prepared so the government and emergency services can focus on those most in need first. You got a second open? Yeah. Or like 15.
We done. Second of 16 and 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. You imagine these things are used as correction. But then, people are in now, they're going to fan it off to, some geological event, or, there was a solar blast, it was just a solar event. Then there's no spiritual aspect to it. For the solar, was it solar blast, solar flare, whatever it was, the one that fucked up they're not going to be looking at these things spiritually. So it's the same when, you know, the discontent starts, same thing. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So you're going to cast behind them. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow up on the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So yeah, victual, you know, they're caught in a situation where it seems like things are going well. Even now, there was the entire like tech sector has been on a downturn for like the last year and a half. And the only place doing well is Nvidia, because they're basically the backbone of AI. Nvidia's cards are basically used for like AI processing. So they're doing well. So there's people where you're seeing like they're making fucking insane money of Nvidia. But that's the thing, is regardless of you know how sweet the situation seems, like prophecies are there, the word's gone out. It says what they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So yeah, you know, it's not just going to be one means, one method. It's going to be more. And that's something where it's the famine's teeth. There's going to be people struggling to get food. The UK is somewhere where it's people are disconnected from it, because they're just, you know, they might really think that there's a substantial amount of food being produced in the UK, but there's the vast majority is imported. Most products you can't grow in the UK. Most products aren't being grown on any kind of substantial scale in the UK either. The reason there's British branded eggs is because of government subsidies. The government supports them to be able to maintain a certain level of locally grown food, you know, for emergency situations. But the reality is, once the crisis hits, there's a limit, a hard limit, like 3 days, then we're kind of toast. So yeah, you know, another week, I'll say, no, yeah, well, praises to Yahweh, but Hashem Yahushua, but Hashem Yahushua, don't want to see apostles, now it's very good.